What started off as every little kid's dream of being a cowboy quickly turned into a global phenomenon. Kevin Costner and Kelly Riley play the household favorites John and Beth Dutton. But guess what? The Yellowstone universe is set to expand beyond them with 2 new spin-off series. Yellowstone 1944. You have got to give credit to Taylor Sheridan because his vision for the universe is insane. The director sat down with his team and considered setting the Dutton family in different eras like the 50s or the 60s. But they settled in America in the 1940s, and it's got us buzzing with anticipation. As of now, Sheridan and the folks at Paramount are keeping things hush-hush about the 1944 spin-off. But we did get a little insider info in February 2023 as Tom Prince, an executive at 101 Studios, spilled the beans. He revealed that 1944 is going to follow the events of 1923, the spin-off with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren playing Jacob and Cara Dutton. Maybe we'll see a direct continuation of their family like their kids or grandkids? Era-spanning storyline. Get ready to hop into your cowboy boots and head down to the Bitterroot Valley because that's where all the action's gonna be. Prince confirmed that a big chunk of the filming will be at the Chief Joseph Ranch, located in Darby, Montana. And as you all know, that's the iconic place that the Dutton family calls home in the original Yellowstone series. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Since 1944 is set to follow up on the events of 1923, it's a safe bet that we're about to see another branch of the Dutton family tree. But still, that doesn't explain what the storyline is going to be. Theorists on the internet have been going crazy trying to guess, but it's not that hard to figure out Sheridan's plan. When you think about the 1940s, you just can't ignore World War II. And yep, you guessed it, Spencer Dutton did his duty during the First World War before we saw him in 1923. So it's not a stretch to imagine that he might have been drafted for round 2 in the next World War. We're guessing that 1944 will likely stick around America. And we'll dive deep into the family's ranching history during a time when most able-bodied men were overseas in the war effort. So maybe we'll see a more war-focused Yellowstone this time? That would be really cool. But here's a twist. World War II changed a lot of things in the States too. Women had to take on roles that were usually held by men while they were off fighting. So who's to say that the Dutton Ranch won't be run by a strong matriarch of the family this time? Now, that would be the perfect way to spice things up and keep fans hooked. But here's the bummer. If you're dying to watch 1944, you're gonna need some serious patience. First, we've got to see how the Harrison Ford-led series 1923 wraps up. The second season of that doesn't even have a release date yet. So our best guess is that we'll have to wait until at least the end of 2024, if not longer. McConaughey takes over. You've probably heard the buzz about Matthew McConaughey taking the lead in another Yellowstone spin-off, right? Well, here's the scoop. The project he's headlining is going to be called 2024 and will screen right after the grand finale of Yellowstone. Now, they haven't released all the juicy details just yet. But the main question is, who is McConaughey going to play in this new adventure? And how is he going to fit into the epic Dutton family story? So our best guess is that we'll have to wait until at least the end of 1923, if not longer. But hey, a little mystery only makes it more interesting, right? Paramount seems to be on a roll with its decade-spanning approach as they announced 2024 and 1944 at the same time. These titles are still a work in progress, but it sure hints at something exciting. Could 2024 possibly be a limited series? We're not sure yet, but it's also interesting that 2024 wasn't planned as the official sequel to Yellowstone Season 5. So right now, Taylor Sheridan himself isn't sure if McConaughey is going to continue as the main lead. Paramount is probably testing the waters with McConaughey before diving headfirst into a Yellowstone sequel. But hey, we all know McConaughey is going to nail it. If his performance is anything close to Rustin Cole in True Detective, then this is going to be huge. A wild pitch. Sheridan couldn't stop raving about how McConaughey was the perfect match for his Wild Wild West TV universe. They'd been tossing around ideas for a while together, and after McConaughey got a taste of Yellowstone, he was all in. The actor himself pitched the idea and said he wanted to dive into a world where old school meets modern. It would be ranch life clashing with the contemporary world, and Taylor was like, "Buddy, we can make that happen." But Taylor's got some surprises up his sleeve. He said he wants to shake things up after season 5, even though Paramount teased us with the promise of some familiar faces returning. His idea of a spinoff is a bit of a mystery, but he wants it to be a standalone tale where everyone might not make it out alive. So, spoiler alert, keep your tissues ready because he's about to be pulling on your heartstrings. He's got his eye on those places where a century-old way of life collides head-on with the new way of life, and the challenges are going to be different, but just as intense. Taylor's still keeping some cards close to his chest, but he's got some grand visions for McConaughey's journey. Yellowstone after Season 5. The Yellowstone universe is going through some major changes that are bound to rub some fans the wrong way. Sheridan and the Yellowstone crew have some big plans that could either make or break the beloved franchise. First things first, Kevin Costner, our favorite cowboy, is going to be riding off into the sunset after Season 5. Yep, you heard that right. The Costner era in Yellowstone is coming to a close. But everyone's hoping that McConaughey steps in and owns the role so brilliantly that we can keep this train rolling for years to come. We all had our fingers crossed that Costner would stick around as the iconic John Dutton, the heart and soul of the series. Paramount even tried to work out a sweet deal to keep him on board for the second part of Season 5. But a compromise between Sheridan and Costner remains up in the air. We're all just hoping he doesn't jeopardize his character as he deserves the most fitting end possible. Further delays. But before you can jump into the finale of Season 5 or start getting your popcorn ready for all the spin-offs in store, there's a bit of bad news. Yellowstone has run into yet another roadblock on its journey back to filming. And guess what? This time, it's not Kevin Costner and Sheridan's ongoing feud to blame, it's the SAG-AFTRA strike. The recent WGA strike finally ended, but the SAG-AFTRA strike is still going strong, keeping actors away from the sets. According to the New York Times, talks between SAG-AFTRA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers hit a brick wall with no resolution in sight. The Alliance called it quits, saying that talks were no longer heading in a productive direction. On the other side, SAG-AFTRA accused the AMPTP of bullying them into lifting the strike. So, what does all this drama off-screen mean for Yellowstone? Well, remember that Part 2 of Season 5 was originally supposed to hit our screens in the summer of 2023? But tensions on set between Costner and Sheridan caused the initial delays. Then the writer's strike and now the actor's strike have only made things messier as production has completely stopped at this point. Around the same time, they dropped the bombshell that Yellowstone would wrap up after Season 5, but a spin-off series would keep the torch burning without Costner. That probably got the actor even more furious, and I mean, hey, can you blame him? He single-handedly carried the Yellowstone name for years, and all these spin-offs are kinda only because of him. But the actor said he's done with the series and wants to finally move on to other projects. Then they tried shifting the mid-season premiere of Season 5 to November 2023, but there were just too many delays. Plus, they haven't even started filming the second half of the season yet. Paramount hasn't exactly confirmed this, but seeing the latest SAG-AFTRA negotiation breakdown, you don't have to be a dummy to figure that one out. So y'all will probably have to wait until the spring or summer of 2024 to see your favorite cowboys again. Let us know which spin-off you're looking forward to the most and make sure to subscribe for more.